Well, look, I think there is a couple of things going on. I mean, first of all, the current coalition ran out of steam because of a lack of money. The decision of the Constitutional Court to interpret the German debt brake in a narrow way really led to a shortfall in resources, which is very significant and which made it impossible for them to really compromise on things. I think on top of that, there is really, I would say, the international situation, and in particular, the security demands. Germany has been stepping up its support of Ukraine, and that, of course, costs money, but it's still not enough. And everybody sees that it's not enough. And in particular, now that the next US president is going to be Donald Trump, it is clear that Germany will have to step up even further in its security spending. So it's really those two things, a lack of budgetary headroom domestically and the external constraints that made it impossible for this government to stick together.
Yeah. When I look at the latest polling intentions across Germany, the CDU seems like it's preeminent at the moment, clearly. Then AfD, the SDP, the Greens, and then Sarah Wagenknecht, they're all in there as well. What are the possibilities that even if we do have a confidence vote that leads to an early election in Germany, that we're going to get better, more cohesive government going forward?
Well, I would say a lot depends on the election campaigns, and the last 2 months, as we know, are always quite important and decisive in an election campaign. The polls at the moment are a snapshot, and the next 2 months really will matter. And I think the whole debate and the fight they are having now over when to call the vote of no confidence and when to have the election is also exactly about this question. How long is the election campaign going to be? I think that CDU, the Christian conservatives, they would like the opposition. They would like to have a rather short campaign because they think that that's to their advantage, while the Social Democrats think that in a head-on-head between Scholz and Merz, Scholz might actually be the one that impresses citizens more.
Sylvia joining the conversation. What I would like to understand here is perhaps the impact for the European Union, because for several years, really, European officials had told me how they were, to some extent, frustrated sometimes with the German coalition because it was hard to get them on board. Given how important Germany is for the EU 27, is this election potentially a blessing for the EU?
Well, I think potentially it is a blessing. I mean, indeed, the current coalition under Olaf Scholz's leadership has been terrible on its European policies. I mean, it has not brought together the European Union. It hasn't been able to restore the relation with France, even with Poland, where we had a positive political change. It hasn't really been able to come to good terms. So European policies will have to play a really crucial role going in the next couple of years. Europe will have to be united. It will have to be united on trade policies, on so many other issues. And with the current coalition, this just wasn't possible. Now, what the future will bring in terms of electoral outcomes, that's anybody's guess, I think.